family and online worship community. My name is Jason Hollinger. I am the preaching and community minister here. And in our time in Jesus and Coffee, our last one of the week, I want to take us to Judges chapter 3. Now, in Judges chapter 3, this is a time that follows the death of Joshua. And when Moses passed on, you had Joshua then taking over as the leader of God's people. And now when Joshua passes on, the people need new leadership. And this time it comes in the form of Judges. And in chapter 2, verse 16, we learn about God raising up judges to help to lead God's people. And so I want to begin reading right here and then take us up through chapter 3, verse kind of towards the middle of chapter 3, and issue our challenge and send you on your way today. And so either follow along or listen as I read. Again, I'm going to start in chapter 2, but chapter 2, verse 16, and go through a bit in chapter 3. Judges chapter 2, verse 16. Then the Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hand of those who plundered them. Yet they did not listen to their judges, for they whored after other gods and bowed down to them. They soon turned aside from the way in which their fathers had walked, who had obeyed in the commandments of the Lord, and they did not do so. Whenever the Lord raised up judges for them, the Lord was with the judge, and he saved them from the hands of their enemies and all the days of the judge. For the Lord was moved to pity by their groaning because of those who afflicted and oppressed them. But whenever the judge died, they turned their back and were more corrupt than their fathers, going after other gods, serving them and bowing down to them. They did not drop any of their practices or their stubborn ways, so the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. And he said, because this people have transgressed my covenant that I commanded their fathers, and have not obeyed my voice, I will no longer drive out before them any of the nations that Joshua left when he died, in order to test Israel by them, whether they will take care to walk in the way of the Lord as their fathers did or not. So the Lord left those nations, not driving them out quickly, and he did not give them into the hand of Joshua. Now these are the nations that the Lord left to test Israel by them, that is, all in Israel who had not experienced all the wars in Canaan. We're into chapter 3 now, by the way. It was only in order that the generations of the people of Israel might know war, to teach war to those who had not known it before. These are the nations, the 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, the Sidonians, and the Hivites who lived on Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon as far as Lebo Hamath. They were for the testing of Israel, to know whether Israel would obey the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. So the people of Israel lived among the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And their daughters they took to themselves for wives, and their own daughters they gave to their sons, and they served their gods. And the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. They were commanded not to do that. So they did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. They were commanded not to take on and marry into the families of these other nations. They forgot the Lord their God and served the Baals and the Asheroth. Therefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. And the people of Israel served Cushan-Rishathaim 8 years. But when the people of Israel cried out to the Lord raised up a deliverer for the people of Israel, who saved them, Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. The Spirit of the Lord was upon him, and he judged Israel. He went out to war, and the Lord gave Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand. And his hand prevailed over Cushan-Rishathaim. So the land had rest 40 years. Then Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. And the people of Israel, see, whenever judges died, they did what was evil. And the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done what was evil in the sight of the Lord. He gathered to himself the Ammonites, the Amalekites, and went and defeated Israel. And they took possession of the palms, or the city of the palms. And the people of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, for 18 years. Then the people of Israel cried out to the Lord, and the Lord raised up for them a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, the Benjamite, a left-handed man. The people of Israel sent tribute by him to Eglon, the king of Moab. You know, when we think about this story, you know, oftentimes we find ourselves separate from, those in the Old Testament, because that was generations ago, and those mistakes they made not understanding and knowing Jesus as we know him. But let's not fool ourselves. We make some of these same mistakes knowing Jesus and knowing what he came to do, knowing and having the opportunity and reading all that he did, how he was rejected and how he was despised and how he was accepted and how he was followed, all those things. And yet we ourselves can find ourselves being able to do evil on the side of the Lord. And here's the difference. Here's the difference between the Israelites in the time of the judges and Christians today, this side of the cross. We don't need to cry out for a deliverer. We don't need to cry out for someone to come and deliver us, to free us. My challenge to you today is to cry out to the deliverer. Cry out to the one who has delivered you. Cry out to Jesus, the one who frees us. It's up to you. No one can do it for you. Can't wait to hear how it goes, and can't wait to see what happens when you do. Y'all have a great day. God bless.